Hey guys, this is Dorian Day, and welcome to the first episode of Chord Finding Made Easy. This method, along with a chord progression pack released today on Six Twisted Minds, were created in conjunction with a new member of our team, Andrew Perfect Chords Jordan. You can find Andrew at twitter.com/perfect chords. A link to the chord progression pack can be found in the description, as well as a link to the demo pack. We also added a new service to the site in conjunction with Andrew. If you have a song you want chords to, we'll help you find them. You can contact us on the website, and I've included a link to the page in the description. So today we're going to go over how to find chords the old-fashioned way, using your ears and a piano. Andrew and I have tried to lay out an easy-to-follow method that will get novice musicians started at finding chords of songs that they like using the keyboard and their ears. So let's start with the method. Listen to the part you're trying to transcribe several times to get the big picture of how the section goes. Try to listen to the number of chords in the section and when they change. To begin actually transcribing the chords, wait for the first chord to come around and find its bass note. The bass note is the lowest note in the chord and is almost always the note surrounding bass instruments are playing. If you're having difficulty finding the note, you can try every note within one octave range and find the one that sounds the most correct. Be careful because other intervals can sound consonant to the bass note, such as the perfect fifth. This can give the impression of being the bass note when it's really a fifth apart. Now I want to give you some information on what kind of chords you're likely to encounter before beginning. This information I'm about to give you is based on my experience transcribing EDM and pop songs and the experience of my associate Andrew Jordan at transcribing EDM and pop songs. Between the two of us, we've transcribed over 200 songs in the last couple months, and we've gathered some statistics on the chords used. In EDM, about 85% of the chords are root position, major, or minor chords. 10% are seventh chords, the majority being major seventh or minor seventh, and 5% are other, including suspended, diminished, and inversions. In top 40 pop, about 95% of the chords were major or minor triads in root position. This time we included suspended chords in the mix, so some portion of that 95% are sus chords. Then we estimated about 4% are seventh chords and 1% other. Now obviously our sample size was fairly small, only 200 songs out of the tens of thousands released every year, and our selection fairly specific and limited. But we want to convey the information that a lot of music is being made that becomes fairly popular using very basic chords and chord progressions, and you're free to branch off from there once you become a more proficient musician. So now that you've found the first bass note and know the preceding information, you're equipped to begin finding your first chord. Until you develop your ear, this will be a process of trial and error, so begin by trying a major chord with the bass note as the root. As a refresher, a major chord consists of the bass or root note, a major third, which is the note 4 semitones above the root, and a perfect fifth, which is the note 7 semitones above the root. Listen to this. Does it sound correct? If not, try a minor chord built from the bass note. You form this chord by lowering the middle note of the major chord 1 semitone. As we just discussed, the vast majority of chords in top 40 pop and EDM will be major or minor triads. So if the chord doesn't sound correct, double check that your bass note is correct before trying other top notes. If you think the chord sounds like either a major or minor chord, but isn't as rich or full as the one you're hearing, it may be a seventh chord. Once again, the vast majority of seventh chords in top 40 pop and EDM will either be major seventh or minor seventh chords. So if the chord you're hearing sounds major but is missing something, it's probably a major seventh chord. To form a major seventh chord, take the note directly below the bass note and bring it up an octave. Hopefully this is the chord you're looking for. If the chord you're hearing instead sounds minor but is missing something, then it's probably a minor seventh chord. You can form a minor seventh chord by taking the note 2 semitones below the bass and raising it up an octave. If you find that neither the root position triads nor the seventh chords match the chord you're transcribing, you'll have to try one of the more rare chords. From here you can either try one of the suspended chords, the diminished chord, or either of the 2 inverted triads. You can form from the given bass note. If none of these work, you either have the wrong starting bass note or are trying to transcribe a moderately difficult song. From here, you repeat the process for each time the chord changes. A good indication of when the chord is changing is based on the movement of the bass, but you must listen for distinct harmonic changes along with movement of the bass because oftentimes the bass will move around more than the chord changes. Chords often change at predictable intervals, such as every bar or every 2 bars. Make sure to pay attention for actual changes in harmonic content and not just harmonic rhythm. Oftentimes, a chord is played multiple times within a bar before switching, so always listen very carefully at whether the chord changes in each repetition. If you aren't a proficient piano player, ignore repetitions of the same chord and just make it to the chord changes. Even if you have no piano experience, try to practice this because it's very simple and the number of combinations of possibilities at each step is fairly small. Once you've repeated this process for each chord and have your chord progression, you're finished. Once you have the chords correct, try different voicings for the chords, meaning adding multiples of the same notes in the chords at higher octaves. Having the correct voicing is critical for achieving a full, rich synth harmonic section. Okay, to finish this off, I'm going to find the chords to Michael Calfin's Prelude. Let's get started. So first we listen through to the section we want to transcribe, which for me is the main and only chord progression in the song. Let's listen for the bass line. Okay, let's try and grab the bass note of the first chords. Okay, now that we have the first bass note, let's try to find the top chord, trying each of the chords we discussed above. Okay, let's repeat this process for each chord in the progression. Okay, we're finished. Alright, that wraps up Chord Finding Made Easy, number 1. I hope this helped you trying to find chords on the piano to the songs that you like. Once again, we just recently released a chord progression pack on Sick Twisted Minds in conjunction with Andrew Jordan, who also helped me create this tutorial. So if you want to check out our chords, check out the link in the demo, and then also we added the chord finding service. So if you have a song and you want us to find the chords for you, we will. Just go onto our contact page and hit us up. All right, thanks for watching.